Paranoia is in boom. The PR transmissions will resume. They'll try to push drugs to keep us all dumbed down and hope that they will never see the truth around. Another promise, another scene, another package lie to keep us trapped in greed. Another green bells wrapped around our minds, an endless red tape to keep the truth confined. They will not force us. They will stop degrading us. They will not control us. We will be victorious.
Hey fam, I am trying to get my Rockfin. Come on, Rockfin, you butthole. Come on, Rockfin, you butthole.
Good
Come
evening,
on.
everyone.
Yes, hello. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Welcome to Nevermind the Bollocks. I was trying to think of it, when I do the show with Andrew, it's postmortem breakdown. And I was like, when Matt co-hosts, we need a name. And I was like thinking about my punk rock roots and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Like, never mind the bollocks. And I was like, I was trying to explain what bollocks were to Matt. And I was
I know what they are. I know what it means. It's just I didn't get the reference.
balls. Never
Still don't,
mind
but
the
it's fine. Never mind.
testicles.
Never
It
mind.
kind of like, I was thinking like, I was gonna go with like the circle jerks or like, one of like one of my old school punk bands I still listen to. I did a few shows with Rob Durden and we called it The Damned. So I didn't want to take that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was proud of that one. But anyway, yes, we have a lot to go over, of course.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Shit's never boring, like ever boring, especially in the age of the interwebs. I see some of you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Matt, who is in the comments?
Let's see, we got a couple. Ilhanar. American democracy, the great illusion of choice where Americans get to vote for the billionaire's pick. Like George Carlin said, we live in a country of owners and the owned.
Absolutely. I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm so glad you are here.
Jesco, mister.
Hello.
And yet we call other states authoritarian.
Right? Oh, we're going to get into that, boo, because, oh, my word.
Ilhanar says, too bad Green Day sold out.
Right? Dookie. They have a bunch of dookie. Seriously. Oh, my God. Yeah, they sing like, fuck corporate America, and I'm like, what the fuck do you think you are? Please. Please.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to do a music show or something because I've been to over 300 concerts. My chest says music is life. I don't know if you can see it. Music is life. Yeah. So yes, and then I have music notes on my back, like music is my life. So we got to do a music episode and just kind of, I could do a Twitter Spaces and just have people come in and say who the bands they love are, how they inspired them. Of course, Rage Against the Machine is mine and probably a million other people's. Matt, who's one of yours?
I like the Beatles, but that's kind of I don't know, kind of a vanilla choice these days. I like all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so here's controversial because my husband and I listen to the Beatles all the time. Best Beatles song.
Oh, probably Yesterday or something like
That's a
that.
gem. That's a gem. I'm going with fucking Helter Skelter. I am
That's
going
a
a
good one.
badass beat, and I'm going Helter Skelter because I love the heavier Beatles.
Yeah,
Anything except the beginning. I want to hold your hand. Like, no, I can't with that. I can't. No.
not into that
Yeah.
era.
No, no, we got to get some more edgy shit out there. But anyway, I digress.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we have some new shit coming up, and Matt is going to be doing something tomorrow night as well that he's going to be airing on my channel. So stick
Yeah.
around while we talk about that. That's going to be really cool. It's something I did a few years back, but I haven't done since. So, and Matt and I live in different states. So it's cool that we get to collaborate and do things like what he's going to be announcing he's going to be doing. It's pretty rad. So first, of course, we have to get to Palestine slash Israel. Of course,
Yeah.
I mean, how could we not? We are officially over 40,000. Personally, I think it was over 40,000 a month ago. Um,
Over 40,000 what?
Dead.
Dead. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Um, I think it's more than that. As if that's not enough. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's been over 5 months, and you're still seeing people online trying to defend this and saying things like, if they wanted to obliterate Palestine, they would have done it already. You think that's a defense? You're a fucking sociopath. That's not a defense.
Yep.
Excuse me. Okay, I found the mute the third time. So yeah, I mean, like, there you have those people who are like, if they wanted to turn it into rubble, they would have already. They're bulldozing Rafia. They're bulldozing it.
Yeah.
How is that not turning it into rubble?
Yeah.
I put a video of this little boy. I call like all kids under 5 babies. He was probably 2 at most, and he was pulling weeds and eating them. Like, he was like, oh my god, I found weeds. And this dude gets in the comments and he goes, bah, this is hilarious. And no, it wasn't a bot. I looked at his account. It was an older account. He had followers. There were no numbers after the name. Like, people are really like Zionists. They're fucking psycho. They're psycho. Because if you can look at what's happening and still try to, in some way, shape, or form,
Mhm.
rationalize what the fuck they are doing to people, you are a sociopath, psychopath. Like, I am not religious, but I fucking hope there is a hell. I really fucking do. Because that is the only place for people who are that disgustingly cold.
Yeah. Feels like we might be in hell right now, but hopefully not.
Seriously. I mean, the only thing that gives me some hope is the wonderful journalists who are there, who are exposing so much, but I mean, they are putting themselves in so much jeopardy and so much harm just by being there and filming everything. And
Yeah.
I think about the people I've spoken to in Palestine, be it Twitter Spaces or through DM or whatever, and it's like I get so scared to check their Twitter accounts because You know, sometimes they won't post for 3 days, and I am just a fucking mess because I'm like, okay, it happened. It fucking happened.
Yep.
It's fucking awful. It's awful. And you know, if you honestly still believe this shit is about fucking hostages, you are uneducated, you are dumb, you are heartless, you have no empathy, you are just stupid. And I always stay away from like name calling online and stuff, but
Mhm.
I don't have any other fucking words except you are a fucking idiot. You are dumb. You are fucking dumb. If you really are trying to tell yourself this is about hostages, if you cared about hostages, where the fuck are you talking about Israel blowing their own up? Where the fuck are you? Because you're trying to say that this is okay because there's like 80 something hostages. What the fuck about over 5,000 prisoners of Palestinian prisoners who have had no trial and no charges? And they're still fucking sitting there. So if you want to try and equivocate, you're going to lose if that's how you're going to do it. Okay.
Yep.
I digress, but it pisses me
Preach.
off so fucking much. It's disgusting. So what is first? I know I put a bunch of videos and
We can
stuff
talk.
in.
Netanyahu tells the American people that this is your war too. Do you want to see what he has to say about this?
Not by choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
2/3. First of all, what you said is wrong.
When the war winds down, will you commit to calling new elections? That's my question. Will you?
Dana, 2/3. First of all, what you said is wrong. The vast majority of Israelis oppose early elections until the war doesn't end. We've just had many polls on that. Look, a lot of the polls are twisted.
Channel
A lot of
12
the polls
says
are guided by
Channel
all sorts
12
of
says
conditions.
64% of Israelis support early elections.
Show that's not. No, I'm afraid that they asked them the question, do you support it during the war? And they said no.
But that's not what Schumer is calling for. He's calling for new elections when the war winds down.
Well, we'll see when we win the war. And until we win the war, I think Israelis understand that if we were to have elections now, before the war is won, resoundingly won, we would have at least 6 months of national paralysis, which means we would lose the war. If we don't win the war, we lose the war. And that would be not only a defeat for Israel, but a defeat for America too, because our victory is your victory. We're fighting these barbarians that are not merely threatening the survival of Israel,
when the war winds down?
Everything that we hold dear together.
Will you commit to new elections when the war winds down?
I think that's something for the Israeli public to decide. But it's not something. No, look, that's something for the Israeli people to decide. I think it's ridiculous to talk about it. It's like after 9/11, after 9/11, you're in the midst of fighting the war against Al-Qaeda, and an Israeli would say, you know what we need now is either new elections in the U.S. or if your system doesn't allow, then President Bush should resign and we should have an alternative leader. You don't do that.
Well, let's talk about
why. A sister democracy, to an ally. You don't talk about that. What you do talk about is how do we help you defeat what President Biden called sheer evil. You don't just stop after you destroyed 80% of sheer evil. You destroy 100% of sheer evil to allow a different
Prime Minister,
future for
I want to talk about why
alike.
the sentiment.
So if we don't stop till we destroy evil, keep them in power.
Yeah, 100%. Not just 80%. You gotta eradicate these subhumans,
right?
For everyone's good. How do people not see this Nazi propaganda, right?
Stop calling it a war. It's not a fucking war. It's not a war. And you've already won. I hate to say it, but you've already won, okay? You have the army. You have the money. You have the weapons. You have all the food and everything. You are the ones who are causing people to die. So what else are you considering winning we know what you're considering winning, and that is Palestinian people being no more.
How often do you think is Netanyahu on CNN like this, one-on-one with someone questioning him like that? I feel like that's odd. I don't see that often.
I don't watch it, but while I was pulling this up, when I saw it today, I thought, I don't think I've ever fucking seen him on CNN.
I don't think I've ever heard him like talk on a news show like this. It's weird.
It's very
It's
weird.
weird that they're letting like the news reporter like badger him with the same question about elections and all that. I don't know.
It's like,
It's odd.
well, she's a Dem shill, so she's probably trying to like, look, Dems are hard on Netanyahu. Look, guys, come on.
Yeah, could be.
It's not just him, you fucking dumbass. But here's the thing. Like, it's all him. If we get rid of him, it's like, how about let's abolish the IDF? How about that? Abolish the fucking IDF. And that includes all the ones who trained the New York City cops. Because I don't know if a lot of people know that, but the IDF literally trains New York City cops, which is fucking nuts. But they do.
That's weird.
Right? I don't know of any other place in the US. I'm sure probably Cop City will end up that way and other places, but to this point, it's only New York City. Now, this is so important. This video is a must see.
Yeah, interesting. All right, here we go. Let me refresh.
Deliberately and systematically even told on record, whoever wants to avoid the threat of a two-state solution has to support my policy of paying protection money to the Hamas.
So what we did, with the permission of our prime minister, is to let Qatar to transfer a huge amount of money in cash, probably more than $1.4 billion. By doing it, we increased the power of Hamas. We did everything in order to make sure that Hamas will go on controlling Gaza. And Palestinian Authority will control the West Bank, so they will fight each other.
Netanyahu maintains the Qatar money was to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe. Having helped to build up Hamas, Netanyahu has now vowed to destroy it.
He fed the beast and it exploded in our face. If you base your national security strategy solely on force, then you need to win 24/7 forever.
Wow.
So you even have Israelis saying, look, like they fed the beast. And there are so many quotes. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys have seen them. There are so many tangible quotes of Netanyahu saying things like, we need Hamas. That's why we funded Hamas. Like
It reminds me of Nancy Pelosi said we have to have a strong Republican Party.
She sure did.
It's like the same thing, right? We need this.
Well, the Democrats are a strong Republican Party, to be fair.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, we did everything in order to make sure that Hamas will go on controlling Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
So they will fight each other.
Hamas are pawns. That's what they are. They're pawns.
Yeah.
Hamas on October 7th was the best thing to happen to Israel. The best thing. Because they've been doing this shit for 75 years and now they think they have a reason that's justified to do it en masse. And there's still some of the world who fucking thinks they do. There's another video I put in the queue that is the prior prime minister, the predecessor to Netanyahu. And it's quite interesting to see the night and day.
Is it this one here? The former head of
Yes.
Okay,
This is also a must watch.
here we go.
Could you describe what is the reality for Palestinians here?
A life of people who dream about freedom and don't see it. Whether we liked it or not, we control the life of millions.
If you were a Palestinian living in the West Bank or Gaza, what would your view be of Israel?
I would fight against Israel in order to achieve my liberty.
How would you fight? How dirty?
I would do everything in order to achieve my liberty, and that's it. You cannot deter a person or a group of people if they believe that they have nothing to lose. We Israelis, we shall have security only when they will have hope.
Could you describe what is the reality?
How about that?
That is weird.
How about that? Like, he straight up says, I mean, like, even the former prime minister is saying this because, you know, Palestinians, like, people were like, oh, this 4-year-old boy in Palestine threw a rock at an IDF soldier and that's why he was shot. Like, are you kidding me right now? Because they are watching their families and their neighborhoods and everything absolutely blowing up in front of their eyes. And you want them to bow down and lick their boots? Is that what you're saying? You're saying they can't be mad at them? You're saying that how dare they be like, fuck you? How dare they be like, fuck the IDF? How dare they be like, fuck Netanyahu? Who the fuck is going to sit there and let someone kill their fucking people and not be like, fuck you?
That's exactly what he's saying here. He's saying, if I was in their position, I would fight back,
Yeah,
and that should tell you something right there. Like,
right?
they're doing it on purpose to get them to fight back.
And it makes me wonder, like, if Bibi wasn't in power and this dude was. But you know, it's, and I don't want to open up like a big thing, but like, you know, you have Americans who are like, Trump shouldn't be able to be president because of his lawsuits and everything. Bibi was in fucking prison, okay? Dude was a fucking prisoner recently, a couple years ago. And y'all are cool with him. Like, he actually was a prisoner. It's not lawsuits. Like, he was in prison. And you're like, yeah, cool, Netanyahu. Or like, then you have people who are like, yeah, Bibi is a fascist, but there is no but. You don't say fascist and have an asterisk next to it. That's,
Yep.
or maybe you do, and then that shows you are fucking mad. I think I had, what's that?
I said preach.
I think I had one more.
Yeah, a couple more things about Israel if you want to talk
Oh,
about
okay.
the TikTok ban.
Oh, yes. I really want to show this gentleman's video because I talked about it last week on the show and I didn't, you know, have receipts or anything because it was just happening that day. But this gentleman breaks it down and he shows so much and just does a wonderful job. So I want you guys to check this out. I said last week, TikTok's coming down because of Free Palestine, and dude has
You
to
might be
prove.
right. Yeah, you might be right. Let me refresh.
Really hard. But so they're pushing another TikTok ban bill really hard. But something does not add up about it at all.
Bro, I've been trying to wrap my head around this for the last couple days, and nothing was making sense until I stumbled upon this leaked recording. First off, what I'm about to get into is highly controversial. It's extremely sensitive, so I'm going to have to be really careful about it. This leaked recording is from about 4 or 5 months ago. It's Jonathan Greenblatt. He is the head of the Anti-Defamation League.
And so we really have a TikTok problem, a Gen Z problem. Because again, like we've been chasing this left-right divide. It's the wrong game. The real game is the next generation. And our community needs to put the same brains that gave us Tag Lee, the same brains that gave us all these other amazing innovations, need to put our energy towards this, like fast.
Clear as day, we have a generational problem, we have a TikTok problem, and we're going to need to put all our energy into this. And if there's any lobby that owns more U.S. politicians, it is this one. I can't really say it out loud, but this is the one. Democrats and Republicans alike fear this lobby's clout. We can count on well over half the House, 250 to 300 members, to do reflexively whatever they want. In 24 hours, we could have the signatures of 70 senators on this napkin, literally playing out right before our very eyes. There's also this Time magazine article that just came out. Why TikTok needs to be sold or banned before the 2024 election. The article barely even mentions China or election security. Almost the entirety of it focuses solely on this issue right here. Another chart from the article. And the ironic thing is that, yes, it's true. A foreign government has infiltrated the US, except it's just not the country they want you to think it is.
Preach. Yup. Dude nailed it. This is TikTok and the Free Palestine movement is the worst thing that could happen to Biden. It's beyond repair. He can fucking cut off TikTok. He's still gonna fucking lose. He's still gonna lose.
This thing at the beginning where he's talking about they've been chasing this left-right divide, and it's the wrong game.
Mm-hmm.
The real game is the next generation that our community needs to put. So they want to pit older against younger generations, I guess. Now instead of left versus right.
Right. They want to do the millennial and boomers. Like, remember how that was like became so contentious? And I never got into it because like there were a lot of people who were like really cool, like so-called boomers that like, you know, protested Vietnam War and stuff like that. So I don't like the whole generalization shit. But yeah, I mean, that was really good for the older people who were online to sow division.
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says, Jesco says, Ben Norton did a good segment on the broader picture of this.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Check it out later. Thank you. You have a tweet. Democrats always say fascism when it comes to Trump, and I'm not disagreeing. But what I'm doing is calling out their selective outrage. Right now, millions of us in this very country have been marching in the streets for over 5 months, demanding a hashtag ceasefire now. Yet not only has POTUS not listened to 83% of our country, who he swore to represent, he has also overruled Congress to send more money and ammo, and he is still sending weapons to Israel today. Additionally, he wants to ban the platform that millions of us primarily use to talk about Palestine and Israel. How the fuck is that not fascist?
So I am simply drawing the parallel. I'm just saying, look, if there were millions of, like, if your fucking pussy has shit, okay, lasted 5 fucking months and you weren't getting results, you'd be like, he's a fucking fascist, okay, right? No, it would, if it was 5 days and you didn't get results, you'd be like, he's a fascist. Okay, well, I'm telling you, millions of us have been in the streets for over 5 fucking months. And this dude, even though I didn't vote for him, and maybe you didn't vote for him, or whoever didn't vote for him, he's supposed to represent us. He doesn't, but he's supposed to. Okay, and you're not representing millions of us who are saying we will not stand by and watch you doing this. We won't do it. We demand a permanent ceasefire, and you are blatantly ignoring us. This isn't some kind of like pussy hat parade, you know, one time where you sell fucking coffee mugs that, you know, have like yay women type bullshit. That's not what this shit is. This is about fucking life. This is about genocide. This is about humanity. This is about empathy. This is about blood on all our fucking hands because we are in this country. And you want to sit there and say how this is not fascist? And then you want to say how taking down the biggest platform that talks about Palestine is not fascist? Fascism includes taking away people's right to free speech. Okay, it's bad enough when I do my shows and others do their shows on YouTube and TikTok, we have to say things like unalive because if not, we'll be taken down. Okay, so that's censorship enough. But now you're talking about taking the platforms down. Oh, because of election interference? Well, take down the DNC because I was there during 2016.
Yep.
So if that's the, you know, if those are the fucking rules, okay, let's go. But I made this post and people are just went, you know, the shit lives. They're just like, Trump's a fascist. Trump's a fascist. Dude, I'm not fighting you on that. What I'm saying is a blue fascism is not better than fucking red fascism. Fascism.
But Trump.
That's all it is. But Trump. But Trump. You're a Trump supporter. No, more people, more than one person can be trash at the same time.
I like it.
Ay, Dios mío.
I think that's all we got about Israel. Do you want to talk about something else?
I think
East Palestine.
that's it. Yeah, I think we'll, and we have, you know, a few other things like a funny and stuff for the end, but
yes,
East Palestine, y'all know they're my homies. Well, this is interesting. Okay, as someone who's interviewed Stephen Donziger several times, I get really nervous for any of you who know his story because judges are corrupt as fuck, and he wound up with a fucking ankle bracelet on and like all the shit. The people still didn't get any of their money. Like class actions can be really, really tricky, and it could wind up for some reason when I talk about East Palestine, people are like, they should sue. Yeah, no fucking shit. But guess what? They're getting cancer and having seizures and in the fucking hospital. So what do we do in the meantime?
Right. We need to get them out. Get them out today. Sue later. Figure out the money later. Figure out the paperwork
like
later.
And y'all are being presumptuous if they're gonna win. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So this class action, I'm not allowed to go into details, but it's not happening anytime soon. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't get into when, but it's not gonna be anytime soon. They don't fucking schedule this shit like close. They don't. Okay, so that's a really privileged ass fucking thing to say. They can sue. Yeah, they can fucking sue. And guess what? Every time I go there, even for a day, I wind up with nosebleeds and puking and stuff
Joy,
like that.
You should just sue them. Why don't you just sue them?
That's true. That's true.
That
I
easy.
should fucking sue them for the tooth I lost for fucking going there. Seriously. I was like,
Just
I
get a
wonder
lawyer,
if like,
pay for a lawyer. You know,
yeah, it's
those are
fucking
cheap.
bananas. So like people have this like concept that you can just sue and like, oh yeah, it'll go to court tomorrow. Sure. Well, here is, I'm not even going to call it good news because this is just what should have happened. So I'm not going to get excited about something that should have happened anyway. But you can click on it and read a little bit of this.
Yeah. All right. Judge allows East Palestine residents' lawsuit against Norfolk Southern to proceed. So apparently it wasn't going to proceed, but the judge says, yeah, okay, you can do it.
Norfolk was fighting it.
Okay.
Of course.
A class action suit accusing Norfolk Southern of negligence over the train derailment that released toxic chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio last year can go forward, a federal judge determined on Wednesday. Let me zoom in a little bit. Judge Benita Yolanda Pearson rejected the railroad's arguments that claims in the suit were protected by federal law regarding regulating railroads, instead ruling that the case focuses on activity that is not covered by protections. The suit represents about 500,000 people and businesses, where nearly 40 rail cars derailed last year.
So here's the interesting thing, I've been to East Palestine 4 times. I've met up with Matt there every time. And we can attest it's a rural town. There are not 500,000 people there. But the reason there's 500,000 people on the class action, and I can't get into too much detail, but there's not a bubble when toxins go in the air, into the water, into the soil. There's not a bubble. There's not some wall. And there's people who are outside of East Palestine who are still very affected. And East Palestine is on the line of Ohio and Pennsylvania. So there are many Pennsylvanians who are also affected. So if you're thinking, wow, 500,000, it goes way beyond. There are even people affected in West Virginia. So there's a lot more people than you guys think. I've met with people who are 30 minutes out who have bloody noses.
Yep.
Like, trust me, it goes far beyond East Palestine, which is why when I always post about it, I say East Palestine and surrounding areas. Because let's think about it, of course it travels, like
it's in the air.
literally. Like my dear friend Christina, who Matt, she's been on the show a few times. She has pictures of the plume over her house and she's 5.8 miles out. And it's literally, she can see the fire from her front porch 5.8 miles away. That's how huge this thing was. So, yeah, 500,000 people sounds about right. But here's the kicker. Norfolk Southern actually was trying to say that the chemical makers, the chemicals that were on board, they haven't acknowledged that there's literally a bajillion of them. But they were saying like the ones who make like vinyl chloride and such, they are the ones that should have to pay. The chemicals itself. You were the one fucking transporting it. Actually, you're the one that should pay. Like,
yeah. And didn't the chemical companies say not to light it on fire anyway?
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's insane. Like, you are multi-billion-dollar company.
Yes.
And you're fighting so difficult, like just so bad not to give these people anything.
His comment says, this will be tied up in court for decades. The billionaires are hoping these people die before they can get anything. That's what happened to my mother.
Oh, I'm
and
so sorry.
FYI, all those chemicals spilled into the Ohio River that drains into the Mississippi River. That's
You
going to
got
be a
it.
whole lot of sick kids and sick adults. Yes.
Yep. You got it. It absolutely did. And here's also, which a lot of people don't talk about it, and I never want to be presumptuous. Everyone watches all of my shows, but I've talked about it a few times that the Norfolk Southern has this genius idea that they are recycling the water. So they literally, like,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing. They literally have tanks, like millions of pounds tanks, that they are recycling the water. Okay. And they're taking it on trailers to another place where they recycle it again with other machinery and they bring it back. I am not fucking kidding you. And then they're putting it into that same water. So, and you guys might remember, if you saw that show I did about this, that one of the tankers broke when they were transporting the water to the other location. So the toxic water just fucking went all over the place anyway. But like recycling water, and you bring up a great point also, because you're right. Like people, it's contaminated land, it's contaminated water. And these are rural folks. Like these folks, one of the things that's most upsetting to them, and city people won't get it, and it sounds real like hick-like or whatever, but they all grew up playing in the creek. That's what they do for fun. That's how they
One of
raise
the
their
best parts
kids.
of living there is having access to a creek that your kids can play in. It's great.
Absolutely. And it's like now everything's changed. And Norfolk Southern is spending $25 million to build a playground for the kids where the parents will never let their kids go outside because it's right by ground zero. And they're like doing this because, like, for PR, $25 million park. Well, the average house in East Palestine is worth about $90,000. So you could fucking buy every single person out, but instead you want to put a park that literally nobody's going to play in.
Here's their $25 million park. I found it on their website. Wow. Swimming pool, playground, tennis court.
I mean, yeah, your kids are bleeding out their ears, but they can bleed out their ears on a slide. Check that out.
Yeah, man. Cool. It makes it all worth it. Makes it all okay. The cancer.
And did they ask the residents if they want the park? Because I can tell you right now, I know dozens of them, and no, they don't want a fucking park. But the thing is, buying the residents out shows culpability. It shows, okay, we fucked up. We're going to try and make it right, even though there's no way to make it right. But you know what I mean? That acknowledges like they did something wrong if they were going to pay for those. But
exactly.
I swear I'm not kidding you when I say it's like every other day I get texts that people I know, I've interviewed, I've met, are in the fucking hospital. It is continuous. People are having seizures left and right. It is so fucking scary. People are still getting chemical burns from shower water over a year in. Like, this is fucking...
Over in Flint, Michigan, it's been
almost
10 years.
10 years. Yep.
I just saw Status Quo did a video on the 10-year anniversary, and like, what are we going to be talking about this in 10 years? For 10 years? For 9 more years? What? I don't want to.
I don't either.
But I will if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stop. That's for fucking sure. So many other YouTubers never talked about it, and some that did, like, never do anymore. It's not sexy. But this is literally everything we as leftists, or whatever the fuck you want to say, this is everything we we stand against. This is capitalism. This is corporatism. This is environmental hazards. This is lack of healthcare. This is literally every fucking thing we fight against is East Palestine. Like fucking everything. So if people aren't passionate about this, I gotta wonder how fucking, like, how serious are you about these issues that you say you're like hardcore about? Because this is like happening real time. Like, and I definitely encourage people to look up, you know, Research Times Beach and Love Canal. Like, I mean, these things were, you know, happened years ago, but they're like in East Palestine, and people, you know, died, they got cancer, they, you know, it's the same kind of thing. And East Palestine is going to happen again. It does. There are over, I believe it said over 40 train derailments every single day in the United States. No, they're not all like East Palestine. But we've seen some ones that are, you know, notable that have been, fuck, when we were sitting there, remember, when we were like literally doing the town hall with Jill Stein. Like, I'm standing there emceeing the fucking town hall, and a resident said, oh my God, there's another Norfolk Southern train derailment while we are sitting there 2 weeks ago. Like, it's gonna happen again to this degree. It's going to. And when people realize that all of this happened due to negligence, and all of this happened due to, these are poor folk, we don't give a fuck, we want to get this train up and running because their lives are not, you know, our profit is more important. That's been proven, that that's why they did the burn, the vent and burn, to get that up and running, rather than, even though they know this was going to happen.
Yep.
What else do we have for tonight?
The President of the United States of America cannot find his way, does not know direction, cannot open a door, needs to be guided by someone. How in the hell is this okay? Let's watch this little clip. It's only 13 seconds, but
Yahoo should go. That
Netanyahu. Say it again and watch how someone opens the door for him and he still can't walk through.
That Netanyahu should go.
So what? Where am I? What? This way? Yep. Okay.
This is not me being an asshole because, yeah, I mean, I'm blind, so I do shit like this all the time. But, you know, you go places you've never been before, and you're like, wait, which way did I come in? That's normal. He does this shit 10 times a day. So, yeah, I'm going to call it out. He talks to fucking walls. He, instead of looking at cameras, he turns backwards. Like, no. And he needs to be guided. They can't just say, hey, Joe, go to your right. No, he has to be fucking guided.
We have comment, Joe Menta is out and about.
Good God.
Dementia.
Like,
okay. Dude can't walk on his own. I want to see him debate with Trump. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool to see him actually debate?
Well,
the
he
last
said
time I saw him debate was with Bernie.
He essentially said he's not going to. I mean, he didn't say those words, but he was like, I feel no need to. Because, you know, people, you know, shit libs have for 8 years have said that Trump has dementia and stuff. I've never seen it, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's a defense mechanism, and they're saying it about him because, you know, Biden has very severe cognitive decline. Trump's not genius, trust me. He says some stupid shit and he flubs his words and all this shit. But like, I've never really noticed like a cognitive decline. Maybe he does. I don't know. I guess I don't really pay like that much attention to him. But with Biden, I mean,
Biden, it was noticeable. The drop has been noticeable in
it's a
cognitive
stutter.
ability.
It's
Just a
a
stutter, Joel.
stutter. There are you guys should, if you're on my Twitter, please go look at these comments, because like, oh my god, the amount of people who got so fucking outraged by this post. Oh my god. It is like hundreds of comments. It is like 100 shares, quote tweets. Like, people are really fucking pissed that I was like, he needs to be guided. What the fuck did I say that's wrong? I'm stating what's in the fucking video. Like, if you're mad about it, maybe ask yourself why. Like, don't be mad at me. Be mad at the fact that they're propping up Weekend at Bernie's. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. We didn't even pick Joe Biden in the primaries, and that's something I want to talk about before
yeah,
we end this live stream. Actually, we could talk about it right now before we do the funny, if you want.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's talk about Matt's gonna be doing something tomorrow night on my channel. Oh, remind me, we gotta set up that password. Yeah.
Password?
Yeah, so you can get into my stream on your phone.
Oh, I'm going to have my computer there, so I won't need anything
all
from
right.
you at all.
Now we're
It'll be
cooking.
good.
All right.
So, in addition to like Medicare for All and East Palestine, I like to be an activist for election integrity. And what that looks like for me is I host a exit poll. So I set up a tent outside of the polling location. I try to do it every election day, but sometimes I can't do it. But I get out there with a tent and some paper ballots and a clear drop box, and I get voters as they're exiting the poll. They come out and visit me and basically remark what they just voted. They do it for me on paper, and then at the end of the night, I do a hand count, and I post all the results on a public Google spreadsheet, and I post images of all the questionnaires in a public Google Drive folder. And I do this to give some transparency to a process that really doesn't have any right now. In Ohio, we use computers to count. So we have paper ballots, but you fill out the paper ballot and then you stick it into a computer and it goes beep up, thank you for voting.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, a poll worker will press a button and that machine will spit out a receipt. And that receipt is basically the truth, right? And this is what we take to be the truth, and we don't really verify anything. So the 2020 primaries with Joe Biden beating Bernie 155-6, beating Bernie 30-1, 28-1 in a lot of counties, really threw up some red flags for me. Nobody liked Biden that much. And I could see how they were turning election integrity into a partisan issue, into a Trump issue. And they still are with the January 6th stuff. Anytime you hear about election integrity, it's always in the context of Trump and January 6th and insurrection and QAnon, and you're a conspiracy theorist and you're spreading misinformation if you doubt election results. So I saw all of that propaganda happening around 2020. So I did visit the Capitol on Inauguration Day, and I did protest for election integrity on Bernie's behalf, even though Bernie won't talk about election integrity to this day. I want to talk about it. So tomorrow I'm going to host my exit poll. This will be the first exit poll since the last Dem primaries in 2020, right? So this is the next Dem primary in the list sequentially. So I'm very excited. It's snowing right now, so it's going to be cold, but
So what are some of the questions? Can you list, like, do you have the sheet there? Can you list like what questions you're going to be asking people?
It's essentially the same thing that they see on their ballot. So let me see if I have.
Do you, in Ohio, do you have, non-committed or uncommitted?
So it's a partisan primary. You have to choose Republican or Democrat, or you can do an issues only ballot, which does
So
not
there's
block.
no way for you to be like hashtag ceasefire or.
No.
That's how mine is in PA. I gotta get crafty.
So in Pennsylvania, you guys just have computers, right? Straight up. Do you have paper
Well,
involved or what?
see, I don't know because we had in 2020 we had paper to computer, but I don't know if it's still like that because they've been talking about like updating and blah blah blah. If it's paper to computer, I'm writing hashtag ceasefire. See, I'm a registered independent. I'm not going Democrat. Like, I don't give a flaming fuck. Like, no. Even for like the 30 days you need to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as y'all know, I ain't voting for RFK Jr. No way. Like, literally no way. So, no, I'm just going to see if I can, what my options are, but at the very least, you know, I'm going to try to do something for Palestine. I'm going to see what works. But yeah, I mean, are you going to, being as though you're in Ohio, are you going to be asking how people feel about East Palestine?
No.
Can you?
What do you mean? Like, just to get their opinion on it?
Like, it could be like a yes or no. Like, do you feel that the residents of East Palestine are being taken care of? Maybe something like that.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that. It's not a terrible idea.
What's that?
Not a bad idea.
I mean, just because they're in Ohio, I would like to know how informed. I mean, we know they're not being taken care of, but I'm interested to see because since they are local, they may be watching the MSM and stuff that's saying everything is okay. So I'm kind of interested to see what their perspective is, if they know how bad it is, or if they think everything's like all good.
I see. That would be interesting. I haven't really thought about that. So what I typically do is I make the exit poll questionnaire the same exact thing that they see inside to get the point across that when they come out here, they do the same thing again. And I'm going to verify that what the machine spits out lines up with what people have said to me. And that's tricky because I'm never going to get everyone to stop by my exit poll on the way out, right? I'm going to get 30, maybe 50 people.
Can you say, if they say they don't want to come over and sign it, can you just say who'd you vote for and make a tally?
I could, but I'm not. I'm letting people come to me. I'm not like, you know how I am, right? I'm kind of quiet. If people come over to me,
I'd be like, yo, did you
I'm not
vote for blue fascist or red fascist? Who'd you vote for? Like, and then they'd be like, get the fuck off my property. So yeah, I'm intrigued. So are you going to ask Trump or Biden or Marianne or whoever? I think those are the only three running.
So
or just
on the Democratic
issue.
side, we have Joe Biden and Dean Phillips to choose from.
Dean dropped out.
Well, he's on the ballot still.
Oh, well, he might get one vote.
I'm trying to share my screen to show you my ballots, but it's not working. But
And then what's the issue question that's on your ballot?
it has to do with a proposed tax levy for the county we live in. So pretty basic stuff. Renewal for a
Okay.
tax levy.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you want to go live after you count and say, hey, I just counted all the ballots, here's, and then just kind of show your worksheet and give like an update of what the tally is. They probably, well, if it's local, how many people are in your county?
I don't know.
Is it like small?
When I mailed out, well, Cuyahoga County, I think, is the largest voting county in the state. I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure. And I think I had 700 households who were voting regularly. Last time I mailed out something about my exit polls, I mailed out around 700 things.
Oh.
So that's not individual voters, that's the households. So it's more than that.
Wow. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be, I kind of want to steal that idea, and I don't think it
I
would
don't need to
work
steal it.
with
I'm
me.
trying to spread the idea.
I don't think I could handle it though, because like if someone comes over and they're like, "Yeah, I voted for Biden," woohoo, I'd be like, "So you're cool with genocide?" And then like I don't think I would last. Like I think like they'd like tell, because I voted in elementary school, and they would be like, "Get off the property, you're an asshole," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I am. Our democracy's at stake." It's cute. They think we have one.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think we do. All right, I can't zoom in, but you can kind of see I have the ballot here, and at the bottom there's a stub. And after you fill out the exit poll, you rip off the stub, you take the stub home with you. Now your stub has a unique secret code on the bottom. Each ballot has its own unique secret code. And this way you can go to my spreadsheet, you can look at the questionnaire images that I'm going to take and verify that your vote was counted accurately in my exit poll, which is kind of a nice feature that I wish we could do in real elections, but
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice, right? If you could like go to your county's website and find your vote in the list and verify.
Seriously. Well, I
But it's-
was, in 2016, I was one of thousands who was at Occupy DNC, where we marched in 100-degree weather, and at the convention. And then in 2020, I went to Iowa for 5 weeks to volunteer for Bernie, and I was literally at the Iowa caucus at Iowa City campus, helping to run the caucus there. So I saw shit firsthand. So, while we're on, the topic of election integrity, I kind of want to, and you guys know, because of my blindness, I can't see the comments now, but after we get off the air, I want to see your responses, because I see there's over 100 people watching. So I want to see what you guys say. So let's see some of the things I would like. I want open primaries. Like, we have bullshit in PA that, like, I think over 20 something or 30 something other states have. Like, you have to register the party you want to vote at least 30 days in advance, which is one of the issues that was.
Oh, we don't have that.
Oh,
we
can't
decide
vote
on voting day which party we want to choose.
Oh, I'm independent. I couldn't vote for a Dem even if I wanted to, or Republican. Can't. I don't want to, but even if I did, general, yes, but I'm still not voting for them. But that's beside the point. So open primaries, because that's one of the things that happened in 2016 was people's ballots were getting switched. Like their voter registration, they'd be like, I was registered Democrat for 35 years. I go to vote for Bernie, and all of a sudden I'm registered Republican and they won't let me vote. Well, that's what they were doing. And actually, New York actually admitted that they switched over 130,000 parties on people's voting registrations.
Yep.
They admitted it in court. So that's what they were doing. So that impedes democracy, just not having open primaries. Also, sometimes people enter, let's say, even local elections or every 2-year elections. Sometimes people enter or drop at the last minute. We should be able to change like that and not have to worry about what we're going to do 30 days in advance. Because let's say I registered Dem to vote for someone and then they drop out and now I want to go back to independent. Well, I can, but I can't vote because I wasn't independent for 30 days. Like it's set up to discourage people who they only want Dems who only stay Dems to be able to vote. They don't want people like me to be able to vote because I'm not going to fucking vote for them. So open primaries, hand counted paper ballots, taking shit like coin toss out. Like, oh yeah, no, it was totally feasible that Hillary won 6 out of 6 coin tosses. Mathematically, totally feasible, you guys. Very realistic. Unfortunately, the camera cut off, and the other video, the guy accidentally walked in front of the video. But other than that, I mean, it's feasible. We obviously know it happened. It's all good. So yeah, coin tosses. How is that even democratic? It's not. What other things? Oh, electoral college. Fuck that. It's supposed to be one person, one vote. Popular vote should always win. And shit libs, where the fuck are you? Because remember when Hillary lost and you're like, she got the popular vote, she got the popular vote. And you were supposed to rally against the electoral college and you never did anything. So, even if Biden does get the popular vote, which I doubt, he's going to lose. And then you're going to throw a temper tantrum again.
That's the thing with election results. That's the thing with election results. We don't know if it's real or not. That's the part that keeps me up at night, is when I see Joe Biden beating Bernie 165-5. Is any of this real? How long has it been fake? 20 years? 30 years?
Well, we interfere with other countries' elections all the time. So, I mean, come on. But I mean, I know from when I was knocking on doors, I knocked on hundreds of doors in the fucking snow and ice in Iowa. I didn't know anyone there. I went by myself and, I made thousands of phone calls. I swear to you, the whole fucking 5 weeks I was there, I saw 2 Biden signs. 2. Yes. I saw Bernie and Trump. That's what I saw. I saw 2 Beto signs, actually. And I was like, why? But then I talked to the one kid who knocked on my door to talk about Beto. And I was like, yeah, I'm here volunteering for Bernie. He's like, I'm voting for Bernie. And I was like, no, what are you doing? He's like, well, I was for Beto and I needed the money, but I'm voting for Bernie. I was like, how do you do that? How? And he's like, well, when I talk to people about Beto, I'm like, is healthcare important to you? And when they say yes, he'll be like Medicare for all. And they'll be like, yeah. And he'll go, sorry, Beto doesn't, or Pete doesn't support that. Bernie does. You may want to look into him. Thank you. Have a good day. And he was telling me, he was like, but I'm still getting paid. I was like, I respect that. I get it. I saw 1 Kamala sign, 1. But in the caucus location I was at, like I said, I was at a fucking university. So the way caucus works is you have all of the, candidates, and you have everyone that's locked in a stadium, and you all have to go stand. They'll be like, okay, all the Bernie people here, all the Snake people here, all the Yang people here, and blah, blah, blah. And then they divide the number of people by the number of candidates, and then they say, okay, well, there's 8 candidates and there's 1,000 people here, so if you don't have at least, or 9,600 people here, so if you don't have at least 90 people in your group, you gotta head out. And Tulsi had 0 votes, shocker. Yang had like 6, and they all came to Bernie, because when you're tapped out, you get to then pick a second choice or leave. And I'm telling you, Biden didn't get it. His people had to pick a second or leave. He only had 42 votes. That's it, 42. And you know what? This blows my fucking mind. All the people, I'd say at least 35 of the 42 came over to us at Bernie. Now I understand why Bernie would be your second choice if you like Biden, because he's a little more like him than we thought he was. But then I was like, why? What? Now I get it. But yeah, it was bananas. So but I filmed it. Oh my God. And I'm rambling, but check this out. So I've been on Twitter for 6 years, over 6 years. So check this out. I've only, knock on wood, I've only been banned once. And my Twitter was taken down one time so far. And why? I was live streaming at the Iowa caucus. Swear to Buddha, that is, my whole fucking Twitter was taken down. And you know what? I was looking, I still have Facebook for friends and family, and I was looking at my memories, and it came up in January, and I was like, holy fuck, I forgot about this. And I was like, emergency. They just kicked down my live stream off of Twitter because I'm live at the Iowa caucus. And I'm like, I've been on fucking Twitter for 6 years, and that to this day, the only fucking time, and I got a 24-hour ban, and it never told me why. And I'm like, I used the hashtag Iowa caucus, and it was a video. I'm like, how about we don't do that shit too? Like, how is that fucking democracy? But I did double check the dude's numbers when I was filming. I switched over to regular record, so I'd have it, and it was accurate in my location.
Okay, good.
So that I can say. But he knew I was like, I was watching the fuck out of him.
Good.
So yeah, but that's going to be cool. I'm glad you're doing that. So you guys tune in. You'll be going live to share the results about what, like 9 or something?
7:30 or 8.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Cool.
We'll see how cold it is. If it's really cold, I'm going to bring the whole thing home and count it in my
Yeah, but
kitchen.
still go live then, because you want to know the numbers at the end of the night.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Well, actually, yeah, you want to know the numbers when you come home. Because if you know the numbers at the end of the night, then theirs are definitely going to be off if you're only there a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, tune in for the reveal tomorrow night. I am going to be doing another show this week. I'm not going to say who's coming on, and I'm not going to say the date or time because I don't know what day it's going to be this week, but it's going to be this week. And as always, we are leaving with a funny, and who is more unintentionally hilarious than the Queen Bee herself.
Okay, here we go.
This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. Its attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe, a winner.
Let's watch that again.
Please.
This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe, a winner.
I love that.
First of all, it's TikTok, not tic-tac-toe.
She's
so old. She's too old to be
Pokemon
up
go
there.
to the polls. Like these people are so fucking just like, oh my God. I can't. For Bath and Privilege Scrub. Oh my God, these people. Yes, Queen. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It looks like we had a lot of people on Twitter. Let me see. I can't see the number. I think it's like 130 or
113.
something. Nice. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning
Thanks,
in
everyone.
from Twitter. Please smash subscribe and come in and watch on YouTube so you can actually add to the comments because that's part of the fun. Interacting, like the people in the comments are always so freaking amazing. I have the best viewers ever. What's that say?
It's the speak no evil monkey emoji from Jesco.
So basically, she's never going to talk again. Gotcha. I'm okay with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Matt, thank you for your assistance and joining me tonight as always. Thanks so much, guys. I absolutely adore you. And thank you for tuning in, going on 7 years here and giving me the ability to love what I do. So thank you. Much love, everyone.
Good night, everyone.